Welcome to Nursing 575, Maternal, Newborn, and Women's Health Nursing. My name is Dr. Sharon Barber, and I'm wanting to just kind of give you an idea of who I am. Since I've asked all of you for that information, I thought I'd share with you in pictures. I started out in nursing school in my bachelor's degree at Azusa Pacific College, which later became Azusa Pacific University. That was in 1981. And in the picture in the bottom, I'm with my best friend, who's now a nurse practitioner for many years and works for Azusa Pacific also as a preceptor for some of our nurse practitioner students. Um, I loved Azusa Pacific back then, and I love it now, and I'm really blessed to be able to teach at Azusa Pacific, coming from my alma mater. My education beyond my bachelor's degree, I got my Master of Science in Nursing Administration and Education 10 years later through the University of Phoenix online, actually 20 years later. And I loved online learning. That was a great way to get my education when I was still working and trying to fit that in. And it really aligned with what I was wanting to do, which was really to teach. Then I went on later to get my doctorate at Case Western Reserve University. I chose a doctorate in nursing practice versus a PhD because I really enjoy clinical practice and I wanted to stay close to the bedside and to students, and so that was the best match for what my career goals were. It was an intensive program, a hybrid, where you went for a week at a time, went 6 days in a row, very intense, and then when you went back to your home base, then you would complete the rest of your projects online and submit them over the next 2 months. I additionally have certifications as a high-risk inpatient perinatal nurse through the ANCC. I'm also a certified nurse educator and an international board certified lactation consultant. And in the picture you see my two grandsons tandem nursing. The oldest one didn't want to give it up. He was almost 3 at the time. 2 at the time his brother was born. And he really didn't want to give up nursing. So he nursed throughout the pregnancy, never caused any complications in her pregnancy. If it had, we would have stopped. And then he successfully continued to nurse till his brother was almost 6 months old. When you do tandem nursing, basically the newborn gets to have first dibs on each breast, and then the older sibling gets to come afterwards and get theirs, just because the newborn is the one who needs the fat-rich milk, and the older child is just doing it for comfort more than anything. I started out at Sharp Memorial Hospital when I graduated in 1981 and worked for 6 months in a med-surg unit there. I cried every day. I hated it so much. I knew I didn't want to do sick adults, but everybody in those days said you have to start on med-surg, so I did. I called the nurse manager for labor and delivery every single week that whole time, begging and begging for a job. Finally, at the end of 6 months, she gave me the opportunity, and I've been there ever since. In the pictures on the left, you will see I was pregnant in those pictures, and the patient and the baby and the little boy are friends of mine whose kids are about 2 weeks apart from my kids, both of them, and we are very close friends. In 1992, we moved from the old women's hospital into a brand new building, the Sharp Mary Birch Hospital for Women and Newborns. I've been there 36 plus years now. And I would tell you that if you ever have the opportunity to participate in the building of a new facility and the transition planning and then the actual move, it is a tremendous opportunity. It will teach you a whole different aspect of nursing that you won't get through nursing school or just being a bedside care provider. It really gives you a perspective of the bigger picture of nursing and healthcare. So I encourage you to offer your time if you ever have that opportunity at the hospital that you work in the future. This is my husband and I. We have a blended family, very common in today's society. And I bring that up just because you will experience many different types of families in this course, and it's just something to be aware of and to be prepared for. And usually my question when I see someone at the bedside is, rather than say, oh, are you the baby's father, grandfather, cousin, uncle, brother, I usually just say now, what relationship are you to this baby? Because that way you'll never make a mistake like I have many times in the past. This is my daughter's family. She has two of her own children, and the little girl is her daughter-in-law, or her husband's daughter, and they all live here locally, so I see them all the time, and they are the loves of my life, those cute kids, and I do watch them quite often, babysit them, because they just bring me so much joy. And then this is my son and his wife and their little boy, and he's almost the same age as the littlest one on the other screen, and their little dog Otis, and they currently live in New Mexico, so I do not get to see this grandchild very often, and it makes me sad. I miss him so much. You will learn through this course that my favorite color is purple. It will become clearly evident after the first few days. I also love flowers. I love babies passionately. Anytime I can get a hold of a little baby and hold it, I will. I just adore babies and the miracle of new life and helping mommies and babies to breastfeed and have a happy breastfeeding relationship. I have determined that being a grandma is my superpower. On the left is a picture of the cross out at Point Loma Nazarene campus, and I taught there for a year full time, and I've taught there adjunct for many years. But it just reminds me of my foundation is in Christ, and that is where I get my strength and my faith, and I believe that birth is a miracle and that life is miraculous, and that it is God designed. The human being is just a miracle from God, and when you start learning some of the details in this course that you're going to learn, I think you'll be able to see how miraculous we really truly are, and how much God must have loved us just to create us in the first place. And then on the bottom right where the beach is there with the empty road, it's just that my husband and I love to travel, and so we do travel quite often, and it just is one of those things that is very therapeutic and relaxing for us.